Ndindoda kuti nyika isiwe vanhu vangu inguva yedu hatingachatsi kubudirira Mwari ari parutivi pedu rambai muchirwa
My hitters don't die, and real hitters gon' shine, and my people gon' rise. Cause we're born to win, yeah. I ain't saying
how in the hell do I not have a deal? I swear this thing is a real dog. I play it fan off, the cowards that they can't feel. The wife try to console me like it's coming, baby, chill. She don't understand. I'm the only one that's real. I remember the third grade. Them kids, they had waves. I had them BDBs. You know there's Zimbabwe and bread. So they do shades and your boy hit the stage. Press play and all the chicks was like, yeah. While boys was moving bricks, I was moving chips, yeah. If she gave me calculus, gave her a mouthful of it. Heat rose to this thing, boy, I bet on myself.
Grand Rising, everyone. Welcome to the Day with Trae. I'm your host, Trae Holiday. We got a magnificent Monday in the works for you all. I'm so excited because Najee is joining me today, and it has been a long time coming. I've been seeing his work out here in the community, training folks, keeping people fit, and also doing so much more. So I'm excited to be able to talk to him today about all the things that he's doing in community so that you all can be informed and engaged in his work as well. But of course, you know, it is the top of the show. So it's a great time to tag and share the stream. Yeah, you participate. Go ahead, tag and share the stream with folks who you feel could benefit from a daily dose of dopeness right here on the Day with Trae. If you can't watch us on TV and stream, that's okay, because we definitely have you covered. You can listen to us anywhere you find your favorite podcast. Just search Converge Media Network and the Day with Trae. Y'all will find me on Google, Spotify, iTunes, SoundCloud, Apple Music, whichever one is your favorite, you name it. Go ahead and search Converge Media Network and the Day with Trae. Y'all will find us there. Well, I got to start off because, you know, I'm coming off of a high this weekend, y'all. I got to see my son perform in Dream, the teen summer musical, and I am so proud of him, but I'm also just so proud of the entire cast. Y'all saw some clips, you know, you got to experience the teen summer musical takeover with me last week, and it was so great to actually see these young folks in action. When I tell you they put forth every bit that they have on that stage for all of their shows, it is true. So you are definitely delighted and elated when you walk out of that theater. Not only the message of Dream and what they're showing to parents and to adults that are effective in children's lives, the need for them to be able to do their own dream and for us to be able to support them is so key. We talked a lot about that message last week, and as soon as I saw my little guy, Johnny, in the play, I was like, oh, I was taken aback, y'all. I was moved. I was touched. And it's not only that he is picking up his mama's theater torch, but also it's that he really has built some strong bonds with the rest of the cast. And to hear that from them, you know, coming up to me and talking about how dope a Johnny was and how he's one of the most well-behaved kids. And, you know, they're like, oh, Johnny's the boss. Johnny leads us all. It was so beautiful. And really, my son has been so positively impacted by the work of Acts on Stage. Michelle and Isaiah, y'all have done it again to bring in these young folks. There was other young people who it's their first time, and they're all experiencing this level of love that is poured into this production every year for 27 years. I mean, the dedication of standing firm, knowing that the impact you're making in young people's lives continues to be positive year over year. I am so overjoyed with the entire Acts on Stage staff. All of the volunteers were also pouring that love into the young people, and all of you young cast members, man, kudos to y'all. Bravo, hand claps, all the things. They are singing and dancing and acting and providing nuance and characterization and levels of comedy that are so stitched well into the whole production. I was blown away. And I'm a big critic, honestly, when it comes to theater. And y'all, every year, You do a fantastic job. So I just had to give some space and time. Later on, I'm going to have to make sure I show a couple of little clips. I'm holding off because I want to encourage you to get your tickets. You make sure you go to Acts on Stage, get your tickets to this amazing show. They are going to be doing another run this coming weekend. And I wanted to open this week with that because I am so impressed. And I want y'all to come on out, enjoy this show, and be impressed as well. Well, after this short break, I get to dive in more with Najee from Fly Above Athletics. Y'all don't want to miss this. Stay tuned. You're watching The Day with Trae.
I think my pieces of advice would be come in with humility, enjoy your passion, and be ready to work. Those are my three things. I think if you think your product is perfect and you may not need to adjust, your product's gonna die quickly because the world adjusts, people adjust. You need to always be thinking about your customer and what they want. So you may have an idea of what you like, but you got to move that to what the customer likes also. And two, just enjoy your job. I love what I do. It is hard. I love what I do. It's hard, and you're fighting Mother Nature, and you're fighting inflation and all these other things. But I think it's made me a better human being. And thirdly, be ready to work. Don't be lazy. Just do the research. Get a mentor. That also goes with being humble. Find somebody who's done it, and then work with them to help you be the best version of yourself.
Big Tobacco thinks they know everything. They think they know you, your community, the places you go, the way that you spend your time. They think they got you all figured out, down to a formula, a calculation based off of numbers of what they think they know. Show them they're wrong. Learn more at theythinktheyknowyou.org.
I learned about the ONU program through many different community organizations. The program, they're very good at making sure that you meet the right people. My favorite part would have to be the community building and also the volunteer opportunities as well. I've been working on my physical health a lot more. I've been intentional about that, and they're very big on that. I'm still learning how transformational it is because there's just so much opportunity. It's a great program, and they will support you.
Visit the link at the end of this video to learn more.
Welcome back, everyone, to The Day with Trae. I'm your host, Trae Holiday. Joining me right now is my guest, Najee with Fly Above Athletics. What's up, Najee? How are you?
I'm doing good. Rich Rising. I'm happy to be here, and I'm excited. We're finally making this happen. So I'm just filled with joy and grateful and blessed to be alive. So yeah.
Well, I'm so grateful that we were able to make it happen too. And you have been doing so many things in the community. I know we were able to come down to your gym and catch you, in your space, Converge. But this is the first time that you're in studio with me. And I want to go back to the beginnings for you because something like fitness, training, all of the work that you do, you have to first off pour into yourself. Tell us about those beginnings for you.
Whew. Okay. My first workout ever was with my grandfather named Gary Ladd. I was 6 and we ran around Seward Park. We both had our shirts off. I had my first pair of Nike running shoes, I think my dad bought me. And I ran the whole entire way without stopping with him. And that was like the best feeling ever. And after that, it was like all in the sports, and I started playing basketball when I was 3, but it was like all in the sports, all into the training, all into the body. And I wanted to be buff like him and look like him. My dad is like 6'4", he's big. So I wanted to be big and in shape. So that was a big motivation. So that was like the very, 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 very beginning. Fast forward to like 2016, my grandfather had a heart attack and I tried to save him and he died in my hands. And so that was a big hit for me because he kind of, brought me into that whole fitness and being buff thing. And after that, I kind of just took, Fly Above. I came up with Fly Above because my dad works for Boeing. My mom's an administrator in education. And my grandfather was a pastor, so it's that whole fly. And then my grandfather always taught about the power is in you, because he was a pastor after he stopped barbering. And then my mom's more of the optimistic educational side. So I'm like, okay, how can I bring all that into one word? And then also I'm into the Egyptians and the Black Panthers. So how can I bring all that into one and, create something where I can empower and inspire people? And so I came up with Fly Above, which is the power is in you, meaning the power is internal. And then everything that I do kind of with the educational piece and then the training and, trying teaching people the best way I can with what I know in terms of healthy eating and diet, and bring that all into one and teach the athlete or the regular, normal person. Because as I gotten older, I realized, we got to break some generational curses. There's a lot of things, my grandfather told me coming up about being healthy and working out. And I'm like, okay, when he died, I'm like, okay, I think I need to start this now. So I just started training people park to park, literally. I trained people. I started at Cal Anderson. I was coaching at Garfield out of college. And I drove my little Impala. I did Lyft, cash out the money on Lyft. And then I'll buy equipment at Dick's and Renton. And then I'll go and drive and train people. And then I taught myself how to record people on my iPhone. So I'll just record my videos. And on the way to the next client, I would edit the videos, post on Instagram. And then that's how I would go about my day. And then coach at Garfield. I would coach at Garfield in that same time as well. And I was in school getting my master's after I graduated college. So I was doing a lot of things at one time. So it was just the drive, though, really. It was just a drive because I wanted my family to be healthy. I wanted the athletes to know about what's going on with the heart and why we need to be healthy and how we need to keep our mind right and things like that. But at the same time, I was teaching myself.
Yeah.
So there was a lot of things I was saying and trying to do, but I didn't fully go through it. I just was pushing for it. And, a lot of those things didn't really happen to me until later on and like up until now, where I really see like all the things I've been saying and then all the things I've been through. Now it's kicking in, like I'm actually in it.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Well, you're in it deep, and
Yeah.
it's great to hear that level of detail that you just gave in terms of your beginnings, because I look up your stuff. I'm like, oh, people were following you doing those workouts and posting those workouts. That was really key to people understanding that that's something you were bringing out into the community. You were making sure people were healthy, but also the idea that people began to gravitate toward your style, your approach. Talk more about that, because every trainer has some specific things that you really hone in on. And when you talk about like training athletes, because you coming from an athlete yourself going into coaching, you have an eye for what is needed on that court, on that field, in a way that a lot of people may not really have that purview. Tell us more about how you bring your athletic skill and experience to your clients.
Yeah, so I'm sorry we're talking about kettlebells. Kettlebells is a huge part of my life. I was with a lot of other trainers coming up as an athlete, and every trainer is different. I started to get too big and things like that, and so there's a trainer named Andrea Chang who started off out of Bulls Gym. Because I used to wake up at 5 or 6 a.m., catch the 7 down the Bulls Gym, work out and do hour straight ab classes before I went to school at Beach, and that's how I met Andrea. And so through that process, I was injured, and Andrea brought me into kettlebells. I was playing football. We were playing Ingram. I had the whole UW staff at the game, head coach, Alameda, all these guys that were at the UW came to watch me play, and Ingram sent the kid to hurt me, and I got hurt in the game.
Wow.
And so that kind of was the end of like my attention, the look I was getting. So I was with Andrea, and then she brought me the kettlebells, and she was like, man, we need to get you on these kettlebells. It's good for you, da, da, da. And she's a woman. So it was my first time being trained by a woman. So, I have a lot of women in the family. I connect with women well. So I was like, okay, cool. This is different. And with the kettlebell, it started in Russia. It was like a ball with the handle. It's steel, and there's different kinds. And so I like to do the black steel one. It's like, it's more efficient to me, and it's easier to use, and it's heavy. And with kettlebells, it's all about gravity in the body, in your core. And it's all about being one with the earth. So I'm like, okay, I'm learning this stuff with Andrea, and I'm seeing a lot of people within the circle that I'm in, but the people within the circle didn't look like me. And I always told Andrea this, and I'm like, man, I'm trying to bring this to my people where I'm from. Because in the South End, where I grew up, and I'm born and raised, they don't know nothing about no kettlebells. So what I did was I mastered everything that she taught because the people that need to get certified through kettlebells go through her. And they fly out from different countries, and all the top trainers and gyms go through SFG. So I was the young guy behind the scenes with her, following her to all the training certifications. And so I just mastered it. And I'm like, okay, I already know the other stuff. I need to master this because long term, I realized if I'm training with 80-year-old women, 70-year-old women, and our black women, our black people who need to be healthy too, then they need to something to know about and use long term,
Yeah.
especially like my mom and things like that. And so after that, I'm like, okay, I'm just gonna take this and run with it. I'm gonna learn as much as I can, and then I'm gonna incorporate it and incorporate this with Fly Above and figure out how to make this my niche to separate me so I can be a little different, coming into the training space. And it's been a blessing, and I appreciate Andrea and what she taught me, and then I appreciate all the people that supported me. So yeah.
It's beautiful because that's exactly why there's something for everyone in the space of training, right?
Yeah.
When you think about the body, there's so many different ways to get the body right. And I'm learning. I feel like I'm just really beginning my journey because I'm now so dedicated, Najee. I remember we connected a while back and you're like, look, we got free classes, we got this and that. And even Elijah back then was like, Trae, come
Yeah.
join me on these Saturdays. I'm
Man,
like,
shout out to
man, yo,
Elijah.
I'm doing Qigong in the morning. I'm trying to figure it out.
Yeah.
But I love that there's something for everybody in this space. And you also brought your brilliance to this collective body of amazing folks doing health and wellness. Tell us more about your connection and the relationships you're building through Holistic Coalition.
Shout out to Dion and Karita. There's good people, and I know we're trying to make some things happen. Yeah. It's a process. But man, it's just all about coming together and empowering and inspiring one another. And I met Karita and Dion through the Banu partnership. So I have a partnership with Banu. Shout out to Joaquin in Africa Town. And I go in it's been about a year and a half now, where I go in for an hour every Monday. I train the men at the Banu home. And they had a massage situation partnership. And so we heard about each other, and I'm like, okay, and we need to connect, but it's like we never really crossed paths. And so I'm really the type of dude, I reach out and I'll like hit you up, or I'll go find you, and because it seems like if there's something in the way, or if there's we need to make it happen.
Yeah.
So one day, I went in, and then after I just went downstairs and I said, hey, are you Karita? And then we just start talking, and me and Dion, we just start chopping it up, and then we're able to come together to do some amazing things within the space that I have, and bring some equipment in, and bring some new ideas in, and create the SPO method, which me and Dion created together. And shout out to him for that, because he's a genius. His mind just goes and goes. But he's a great dude. And now we're just trying to figure out how to grow from there. And I think we have a holistic meeting with other practitioners, things like that, August 26th, that we're trying to put together so we can create something for the community. And hey, brother Heru's a part of that as well. Shout out to him too. So yeah, that's how our connection started with Holistic Coalition, and we're just trying to figure things out and grow at the same time and deal with life stuff.
Of course. And
Yeah.
that's the thing is it's all about the level of dedication y'all are bringing. And that's something I really appreciate, not only because I experience it, right, but also because it takes that level of focus to be able to impart something that's impactful for our community, because we need longevity.
Yeah.
We need long term. We need sustainability. It needs to be consistent. People need to know, look, I can always connect with Najee if I'm ready. When that time comes for me, I got some people that I can connect with in community. And that right there, I think, is really key to us having these institutions in our community that provide that level of sustainability for folks to tap into. So kudos to you for staying very firm and focused, understanding like life brings you these opportunities, right? And I know your people, the lads. So I just love knowing that, again, we have these deeper levels of connection and community. When you think about the next 5 years, Najee, what are some of those things that you're really looking to do and to build and grow in terms of Fly Above Athletics?
Man, to be honest, I'm of the mindset, I'm kind of just taking one day at a time, because time is valuable and just living is valuable. I've been through a lot. Like I said, Elijah passing, D-Pick passed. Me and D-Pick, we met each other when we were 9 at my house.
Wow.
My uncle brought him over, and then we've been cool ever since. And then we had the opportunity to play high school ball together. So like my cousin Jameer passed away in October at the same time. A lot of people leaving. So like now I'm like, okay, I need to find a balance, focus on myself, do the right things as best as I can. And then, just take one day at a time, and not to, so I tend to get too cluttered. I tend to, and get anxiety sometimes, even if I'm thinking too far ahead or something like that. But I mean, some of the goals really is just to, I want to start a family, and I got a beautiful woman, and she's empowered and inspired me, and she's helped me grow. And I have a beautiful daughter named Zuri, and and possibly more to come. And and so I want to start a family, and I want to get right with myself mentally, and elevate spiritually, and and buy more properties, and empower more people, and take care of my mom, my dad. Shout out to my mom and my dad and my sisters, Asia, Samari, and so when I think about 5 years from now, I'm just like, man, I want to be an overall good man, really. I mean, the money and all that stuff is great. I'm not really worried about that. I just want to be a good man, do the right thing, conquer all these things that have been holding me back, and take care of my family and be happy and positive. So I just really been on a path where I'm just focusing on keeping my mind right. I have a therapist. Hey, Rue has helped me too. So I have like a therapist who I go to for like the brain. And in my mind, I'm like, okay, he's for the brain. Hey, Rue's for who I am as a Black man of ancient Kemet, not Egypt, what I'm saying, before they enslaved us. So I can tap into the energy that they've been holding us down as Black men not to step into. So I'm like I got all the puzzles and pieces I'm trying to put together. So yeah, I'm just taking one day at a time and trying to balance everything, and focus on myself, my mindset, and my routine every day, waking up, meditating, writing, running, mile or two, going to the gym, training, take care of my daughter, and just create. And man, yeah, that's kind of where I've been at. But long term, I just want to be a good family man and own property and enjoy life and travel, and I want to get married and things like that. So yeah.
Well, look, that's what I'm talking about. Your head and mind is on the right track, and clearly your level of dedication for what you're doing and how you're growing your business in such an amazing organic way is real. Thank you for making your space open and available to community so that people like myself can come and transform my body, because I'm done. I'm so over and so excited for that journey. But we need spaces like that in order to do that. And so, I appreciate what you've brought to the rest of community, the fact that you have classes, ways for folks to train. I see you have a little gift there.
Yeah,
I don't want to be remiss.
I want to give you this gift. We also, for Fly Above Athletics,
Thank you.
we have resistance bands.
Yes.
The motivation behind resistance bands really comes from when I was younger, coming up as an athlete. I seen how hard it was to get stuff like that. Like Dick's Sporting Goods, one band is like $50, $30. Wow. So what I figured, I'll just cut out the middleman, and shout out to Gavin and my lady. Like, we worked together to cut out the middleman, and we came together to create my own resistance bands that's more affordable. It comes with a bag that you can use, and the bands never break. And you can stretch with that. You could do ab workouts with it. You could do so many things. We have short and long ones. And I created also my own CBD cream, which is also motivated, stemming from health and my grandfather, and just finding the right way to take care of our bodies instead of taking pills. Because as a football player, when I played at Wazoo for a little bit for Coach Leach, I seen, even me, I had a concussion, and had a lot of injuries when we were playing. And there's a lot of pills that they give us, and they make us think it's okay. And we have a lot of access to like Oxy and codeine and all that stuff. So I'm like, okay, the CBD cream is something that I used when I hurt my back during the protests. When we were doing the protests, I was walking and participating, but then I had a huge back injury where I woke up and I couldn't walk. And that was from football. So they tried to give me steroids and pills at the doctor. I said no. So I did straight natural and used only CBD. So, and I healed my back from CBD and just doing back exercises and hip exercises. And I was like, okay, maybe it's time for me to make my own. Wow. So, I'm just trying to figure out different ways how to insert who I am into the community, into the people. I can, what do I have that I can use to empower other people and give to them so they could be healthier or move better or, you know, feel better. And I'm just trying to touch as many people as I can before I leave this earth. Really, that's what I'm trying to do.
Well, you're doing it. You
So,
are
yeah.
doing it. And thank you for my resistance band. I am excited. I love the bag and I will definitely be using it. So thank you so much for that. I appreciate that. Of course, I got to give you time because as folks have heard, now they're probably wanting to book with you, connect with you, figure out how they learn more about these free classes and all the things you're doing at the gym. Look right there. Let them know in this camera how they connect with Fly Above Athletics.
All right. So please feel free to, if you're on Instagram, contact me, Fly Above Athletics with 2 S's. And then my website is flyaboveathletics.com. Like I said, hit me up on Instagram. I'm not the type to ignore you. I will respond to you. And then we could take it from there. You could come and get a consultation and we could see where you're at. And yeah, so that's how you get in contact with me. If you see me in the streets, say something. I love to talk. I'm always the person to make sure that, you know, you can reach out to me anyway. Don't be afraid to speak to me, but I'm down to make it happen however we can to help you. So yeah. And free classes every Wednesdays, 8 to 9, and then Saturdays, 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. And that is in partnership with Nurturing Roots Farm. And so we've been doing that for a couple of years. So feel free to come up to my gym on 1644 Occidental Avenue South, right next to T-Mobile Park. It's a purple door. We have the Fly Above banner up now. So when you walk in, you'll see a huge Fly Above banner. And don't be afraid to come up those purple stairs. But yeah, I love you and I thank you for all your support. But yeah, please reach out. Please reach out.
Najee, beautiful soul, beautiful spirit. Thank you so much for joining me today. It has been a pure pleasure, my friend.
Thank you. I appreciate you.
Absolutely. Wow, y'all. I told you, Magnificent Monday. I try not to tell you no lies. Y'all know I try to keep it real with you. Right after this short break, I'll wrap it all up. Stay tuned. You're watching The Day with Trae.
1 in every 500 African Americans in the U.S. suffers from sickle cell disease. 1 in 3 African American blood donors is a match for patients with sickle cell. 1 appointment to donate blood with the American Red Cross can help save a life. Will you be that one? Visit redcrossblood.org/ourblood today to schedule an appointment at a location near you.
The new COVID-19 updated booster provides the best protection available right now. So don't wait. Stay safe this summer and get your updated booster today. To find a free vaccine provider near you, go to kingcounty.gov/vaccine.
So the advice that I would give to anybody coming into really any space is always keeping an eye out for the people that are doing the thing that you want to do and seeking them out and just asking them for a cup of coffee, asking to meet and connect with them in some way, because more often than not, those are the people that want to help you and want to uplift you and figure out a way to provide you support. So even if they don't have the answer, they can help you find somebody, but also they're helping you write the first few chapters of your story. And I think that that is the most important thing. Like, you don't know what you don't know coming into that space, and you have to be unafraid to ask those questions and really trust yourself and lean in hard. You know, you're gonna make mistakes. That's going to happen. It is inevitable. It is a part of life. But what matters is what you learn from that, what the takeaway is, and how you push forward.
Welcome back, everyone, to The Day with Trae. I'm your host, Trae Holiday, and I want to just take a full-on breath. It was so heartwarming to sit here with Najee today. I definitely have to thank him for being here in the Black Media Matter studios with me, because honestly, y'all know the inspiration abounds with all of the guests who come on. They talk about their own personal journeys into whatever craft or product or business or service that they offer. But what we really get, and what I get, because I'm sitting here listening with y'all as well, is I get this overarching theme of we all have a place in this world to do our part. So I just really want to thank Najee for being here, sharing how he's doing his part. Of course, it also is inspiration for you to figure out how to do your part. How will you be a part of the solution, y'all? Find the inspiration deep within. I try to give you examples of it right here, Monday through Friday at 11 a.m. But when you find those inspirations, when you feel that the hairs on your arms start to stand up because of people's stories, what are you doing with it? What then do you take from it? Not just in this one, watching me or listening to the podcast, but then be inspired. You do something. One day I'll be interviewing you because of the things that you're doing out here in this world to make our community better. So I'm excited to be able to be with y'all all throughout the week. Y'all know, for me, until tomorrow at 11 a.m. Peace. Converge Media produces culturally relevant content for Black and urban audiences. Our coverage is raw, transparent, and objective, praised by community leaders, government officials, and residents. Support Converge Media today via Venmo, Cash App, or PayPal at Converge Media.